Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue from page number 12 from the same chapter, The Address, which is written by Marga Minko. And yesterday we read that there was a girl who is Mrs. S's daughter, and she wanted to go back to an address that was given by her mother, Mrs. S, during the war. And after the war, she wanted to go and visit, and she wanted to get back the belongings of her mother. But the lady, that was the lady of the house, the lady whom she met at the address, the name of that lady was Mrs. Darling, and she refused to meet her, and she was not ready to recognize her. So this is page number 12, again from the very first line, where we actually discontinued in the last class. My mother seemed to notice that I was not entirely convinced. Her mother noticed that she was not convinced and she was not happy to have all these things, because Mrs. Darling was taking away all those things to her house, and Mrs. S's daughter, she was not happy that why her mother was allowing or permitting all these things to be taken away by Mrs. Darling. She looked at me reprovingly. Means after that, the mother, Mrs. S, and her daughter, the narrator, they were not in talking terms with each other. They were not speaking to each other particularly on that topic. And her mother was looking at her reprovingly, means in a rebuking way. And after that we spoke no more. Meanwhile, I had arrived at the station without having paid much attention to things. Now she was going back. For after making the first visit at Mrs. Darling's address, the narrator was going back, because the lady had not given her chance to come inside the house or seeing her mother's belongings. I was walking in a familiar places again for the first time since the war, but I did not want to go further than was necessary. Means the narrator, she was really got excited to look at the things, because all these things here means the place, the shops, the different kind of things which were to be seen in the street, on the road. But she did not want to show her excitement, because all these things got detached from her mother, because this city, those streets were important when her mother was alive. But now she did not want to go any further looking at those things. I did not want to upset myself with the sight of streets. Means she was really getting upset when she was looking at the same streets which she had roamed with her mother. That is why she did not want to see all those things. I did not want to upset myself with the sight of streets and houses full of memories from a precious time. So I did not want to upset means she was getting upset when she was looking at those streets again and houses again, which were full of memories from a precious time, because all these things would, you can say, create a kind of excitement in her, because all those things would stir the past memories inside her, and she did not want to get all those thoughts back in her mind. That is why she ignored the things. She was not looking here and there, because it would bring about a lot of, you can say, changes in her mind, a lot of excitement in her mind. In the train back, I saw, now this is next paragraph, page number 12. In the train back, I saw Mrs. Darling in front of me again, as I had the first time I met her. Now she understood. She had those memories that for the first time when she met with Mrs. Darling, what actually happened? It was the morning after the day my mother had told me about her. Means now she understood. She remembered that for the first time in the morning when she had come back to spend her holidays with her mother, Mrs. S, and she got up in the morning and she was told by her mother that there was a visitor. I had got up late and coming downstairs, and when she came downstairs, जब वो सीढ़ियाँ उतर करके नीचे आई, she saw the mother about to see someone out, and she noticed, the narrator noticed, that daughter of Mrs. S noticed that her mother, Mrs. S, was, you can say, welcoming somebody, and she was speaking to somebody. I had got up late and coming downstairs, I saw my mother about to see someone out, a woman with a broad back, and the woman who was speaking to her mother was having a broad back, means she was a fat lady. There is my daughter, and said my mother. She beckoned on me. Beckoned means she gave a signal, means the mother, Mrs. S, gave a signal and with her hands, and she wanted to show her daughter to the lady who had visited, and the lady was Mrs. S. The woman nodded and picked up the suitcase under the coat rack. And why that woman had come, why that lady, that is Mrs. Dorling, why she had come? Because she was trying to take all the belongings to her house, and she had packed a suitcase again, and this suitcase was being carried by this lady again. She wore a brown coat and a shapeless hat. These things were worn by that lady. Does she live far away? I asked, seeing the difficulty she had going out of the house with the heavy case. Now what happened? Does she live far away? I asked. Means the narrator asked her mother where that lady was living. What was her address? Seeing the difficulty she had going out of the house with the heavy. Because that lady was really in difficulty, because the luggages, the suitcase, the bags which were taken away by that lady were really heavy, and it was not an easy task for a lady to carry such huge luggages. And that is why she was asking where that lady was residing, what was the address of that lady. She asked this from her mother. उसने अपनी माँ से पूछा ये कितनी दूर रहती है औरत, because she was taking a lot of heavy things with her. In Marconi Street, said my mother. And for the first time, her mother told her, the mother of the narrator told the narrator that the lady was living in Marconi Street and number 46. And she also said, remember that. Means Mrs. S asked her daughter, the narrator, to keep remembering this address that belonged to Mrs. Dorling, and the address was Marconi Street, number 46, and she asked her daughter to remember this address. I had remembered it. Means after that, the narrator remembered this address, but I had waited a long time to go there. Initially, after the liberation, means even after the war, after the liberation means after the war was over, I was absolutely not interested in all that stored stuff. Now, because she had lost her mother during the war, and after the war, even though she remembered that address, but she never wanted to go back and take the belongings of her mother. Why? Because for her, for the narrator, all those things were only stored stuff now. Stored stuff means they were useless. And naturally, I was also rather afraid of it. Why she was afraid? Why she did not want to go to that address? Afraid of being confronted. Confronted means she would have to face with things that had belonged to a connection that had no longer existed. Means she actually did not want to confront, she did not want to face the harsh reality of life that she had lost her mother, and she did not want to have those thoughts back. Because the things, or maybe when she would come in contact with all the belongings of her mother back, it would bring a lot of memories of her mother again, and she did not want to be, you can say, pained by her thoughts again, which were hidden away in cupboards, because all these things were put in cupboards, boxes, waiting in vain until they were put back in their place again. Because without their places, because they were belonging to her mother, and now these things were not inside their house. All these things, all these belongings were lying in Mrs. Dorling's house, and that was an unusual place. And according to the narrator, until and unless these things are not in contact with her mother, or they were not placed inside their own house, they actually did not attain their value, because they lost their value, because the place was some other place now, because they were placed in a new environment. And that is why all the belongings of her mother had no value for her, which had endured all those years, because they were things. And all those things endured means they could survive. All these things were still surviving. वो जिंदा चीज़ें अभी भी क्यों हैं, चाहे क्रॉकरी की बात कर लो या फर्नीचर की, because they were things only. Otherwise they had no value for Mrs. S's daughter, that is the narrator. But gradually everything became more normal again. Bread was getting to be a lighter color. There was a bed you could sleep in unthreatened, a room which with a view you were more used to glancing at each day. Means, but gradually everything become more normal again. But after the war everything was getting normal. Everything was getting normal after the war, very gradually, very, you can say, slowly. Bread was getting to be a lighter color, means everything was normal, and now the people, they started living an ordinary and life full of normalcy. There was a bed you could sleep in unthreatened. Now the people could sleep without any threat, without any danger, because during the war the people could not sleep because they were in danger to be bombed by the enemy armies. And a room with a view you were more used to glancing at each day. And one day I noticed, I was curious about all the possessions that must still be at that address. And one day she was curious, means curious here means she was really keen. She had a desire, she had a wish to go back and see the possessions means the belongings, जो चीज़ें थी उसकी मदर की. She wanted to see those possessions and belongings again at the same address, because she remembered that address and she knew where all those things were picked by Mrs. Darling, and she had a desire to go back and see the belongings of her mother. I wanted to see them, touch them, remember them. She wanted to see, she wanted to touch, she wanted to remember those things again. And that is why she made a plan. She wanted to visit the address. After my first visit in vain, what is the meaning of in vain? In vain means without any fruitful result, because her first visit was useless. In vain means useless to Mrs. Darling's house. I decided to try a second time. Means because her first visit was useless, now she made another plan to visit the place for the second time. Now a girl of about 15 opened the door to me, and this time Mrs. Darling was not there, and the door was opened. The same address was visited by the narrator, and the door was opened by a girl. And she was 15-year-old girl, maybe daughter of Mrs. Darling. I asked her if her mother was at home. No, she said, my mother is doing an errand. Please underline this word errand. Errand means a kind of, maybe she would have gone out to take out something, to bring something from the shop, or maybe to give a message kind of thing to somebody. No matter, I said, I will wait for her. And this is page number 13. And she said, I followed, and the narrator showed her eagerness to meet Mrs. Darling, and she asked her daughter, or she told her that she wanted to stay. She wanted to wait for her mother, to let her come. I followed the girl along the passage, but this time she was given the chance by the daughter, and the daughter let the narrator come inside the house. An old-fashioned iron Hanukkah candle holder hung next to a mirror, and now she noticed that there was an iron Hanukkah. Please underline this word Hanukkah, and the meaning is written in your books also. The meaning is the Feast of Lights, a Hebrew festival in December, a kind of, you can say, diya, a kind of candle holder that was called as Hanukkah. So an iron Hanukkah candle holder hung next to a mirror, means when she entered the room she found there was a candle holder, and it was a very old one. We never used it. Now she said, we never used it. It means that the candle holder belonged to her and her mother, and they never had used it when it was in their house, because it was much more cumbersome. Cumbersome means it was a very tough task than a single candlestick. Means it was an easy task to light a candle, but to handle this huge Hanukkah candle holder was a troublesome or cumbersome or large and heavy task. Won't you sit down? Asked the girl, and the girl asked her that, please sit down. She held open the door of the living room, and I went inside past her. And then she was given a chance to sit in the drawing room. I stopped. Horrified, she said. Why she was horrified? Because she noticed a lot of things which belonged to her and her mother. I was in a room. Now, this line is very, very important. I was in a room. I knew and did not know. This line is very important. And what is the meaning of this line? That she was in a room that she knew and she did not know, because the things which were lying inside, the furniture, the cutlery, different things, they belonged to her, and she already had recognized all these things, but she did not know anything about the room, because this room was an unusual environment that was new to her, but the things, they were known to her. I found myself in the midst of things I did want to see again, but which oppressed me in the strange atmosphere. But this is very important now again. I found myself means the girl found herself in a very strange thing. Means the things were known to her, but she was oppressed. Oppressed means she was really getting upset because she found these things in the strange atmosphere. This was not their house, this was not their room, and that is why she felt very oppressed, very upset to see all their belongings in a new environment, or because of the tasteless way everything was arranged. Now this is again very important. First thing, that why she did not like these things, because they were placed in strange environment. And why she did not like these things, because they were placed in a tasteless way. Tasteless means they were actually thrown, they were kept inside a room without any taste, in a very tasteless way, in a very haphazard way. They were lying here and there, उनको ढंग से रखा नहीं गया था. They were disorderly managed. Everything was arranged, means disarranged, because of the ugly. And she also did not like the things because of the ugly furniture. Why ugly? Because it was not cleaned, it was really dirty, because they were not cleaning, they were not taking care of the furniture at all. Or the muggy smell that was coming out. What is the meaning of muggy? Muggy means damp smell. A very damp and unpleasant smell was coming out of these things, and that is why she did not like the place. I don't know, but I scarcely dared to look around me. Means she did not know that why she was really afraid of all such things, but she got scared and she did not want to see around. वो इधर उधर कहीं नहीं देख रही है, because she got tired of looking here and there. The girl moved a chair. I sat down and stared at the wooden tablecloth, and then she was asked by the girl to sit down, and when she sat down, she actually looked at the tablecloth that was there. I rubbed it, means she touched that tablecloth. My fingers grew warm from rubbing. I followed the lines of the pattern, means she actually touched the design that was there on the tablecloth. Somewhere on the edge there should be a burn mark that had never been repaired, and now she remembered that because that tablecloth also belonged to them, and there was a burn mark, and which was never mended, which was never repaired. And she started looking for the burn mark. जला हुआ एक छेद है, and she started looking for that hole, that mark. My mother will be back soon, the girl said. The 15-year girl, old daughter of Mrs. Darling, she said that her mother would come back soon, and I have already made tea for her. Will you have a cup? Means she offered a cup of tea to the visitor, to the narrator also. Thank you. I looked up. The girl put cups ready on the tea table, and then the girl, 15-year-old girl, she started pouring tea into the teacups. She had a broad back like her mother. She also had got broad back and the same physical features. She was also fat, just like her mother. She poured tea from a white pot, and all it had was a gold border on the lid. I remembered, means, and when the girl started pouring the tea from a white pot, the lady, Narrator, she again remembered, she got remembrances that there was a gold border on the lid of the crockery of the teapot, and she opened a box and took some spoons out. And then the girl, 15-year-old girl or daughter of Mrs. Dorling, she opened a drawer and she put out some, she had taken some spoons out. That is a nice box. I heard my own voice. Means the lady, the narrator, she said that it was a nice box, and it was a strange voice, as though each sound was different in this room. Means to sit in that room, it was a very strange atmosphere and experience for the narrator. Oh, how you know about them? She had turned round and round me my tea. She laughed. My mother says it is antique. And then the girl, 15-year-old girl, she said that all these things were actually antiques, because it was told by Mrs. Dorling to her that all these things were antique, they were very antique pieces, they were very old, and we have got lots more. Means all these things were there inside their house, and they had a lot of antique pieces. She pointed around the room. See for yourself. Means you can see yourself, you can have a view of all such things lying here and there in the room. I had no need to follow her hand. Why this is written? Because there was no need to look at these things by the narrator, because narrator was the owner of such things, and she already knew all these things. I knew which things she meant. I just looked at the still life over the tea table. As a child, I had always fancied the apple on the pewter plate. Means she always, you can say, imagined. What is the meaning of fancy here? She always imagined, she was always looked happy when there were some apples on the pewter plate. Pewter is again a metal, and it is a metal where we are going to mix tin and lead. A mixture of tin and lead is called as pewter, जिसको हम कांसा बोलते हैं. तो कांसे की एक प्लेट थी, and when she was a small kid, she always imagined that there were a lot of apples on that pewter plate. We use it for everything, she said. Once we even ate off the plates hanging there on the wall. And then the girl told her that she had so many meals taken on these plates when she was a small kid. They used to eat their meals also on these plates which were hanging on the walls. I wanted to so much, but it wasn't anything special. I had found the burn mark on the tablecloth, and at last the narrator found that burn mark on the tablecloth also. The girl looked questioningly at me. Means now the girl was surprised, because she did not know how this girl who had come from outside, she knew that there was a burn mark on the tablecloth. Yes, I said, you get so used to touching all these lovely things in the house, you hardly look at them anymore. Means we generally take all these things for granted, because we don't we don't give a kind of, you can say, value to the things which are owned by us. You only notice when something is missing. Means when we owe something, when we are owning something, we don't value the things, but when they are lost, we actually reach to a conclusion that the things which were owned by us in the past, they were really valuable. Means when something is lost, we actually understand the value of all such things. But when we own these things, we don't do this, because it had to be repaired. It has to be repaired, or because you have lent it, for example. Again, I heard the unnatural sound of my voice, and I went on. I remember my mother once asked me if I would help her polish the silver, and then the narrator told a story to her, to that girl, 15 years old girl, and she told that when she was a small kid, and at that time she was asked to polish the silver. It was a very long time ago, and I was probably bored that day, or perhaps I had to stay at home because I was ill. As she had never asked me before, I asked her which silver she meant, and she replied, surprised, that it was the spoons, forks and knives, of course. And That was the strange thing. I did not know the cutlery we ate of every day was silver. The girl laughed again. I bet you don't know it is either. I looked intently at her. Now, the girl told her that she did not know that all those things which were kept inside their house, they were made up of silver. And one day when her mother asked her to clean those things, and she said that she was required to clean the things which were made up of silver, at that day she came to know that the things were made up of silver. For the first time she came to know this. And after telling this fact, the girl started laughing. I bet you don't know it is either. I looked intently at her. What we eat with? She asked. Well, do you know? Means, and then she actually told the girl, the narrator told her that there were so many other things also made up of silver which were not, you can say, known, which was not known to the girl. She hesitated. She walked to the sideboard and wanted to open a drawer. I look, it is in here. Means then the girl was getting surprised and she wanted to show her some more things. And she wanted to open the drawer also. I jumped up. I was forgetting the time. I must catch my train. And the narrator was really not ready. She was not eager to see those things because she already knew that what kind of things were inside the drawer. So she stopped the girl from opening the drawers and she said, I will look, it is in here. No, sorry, I was forgetting in the time. I must catch my train. Means she just pretended that she was getting late and she wanted to go away because her train was going. She had her hand on the drawer. Don't you want to wait for my mother? But the girl said that because her mother was just going to come soon, the narrator should stay for some more time to meet her mother. No, I must go. I walked to the door. The girl pulled the drawer open. I can't find my own way. Means then at last she made up her mind and she wanted to go out of that house at any cost, but she was not able to find the way out. As I walked down the passage, I heard the jingling of spoons and forks, and then she noticed that there was a passage, and then she heard the means when she was going out, the girl was opening the drawer and there was a jingling, the sounds made by spoons and forks. At the corner of the road, I looked up at the nameplate. Again, for the second time, she was going out of the house and then she looked at the nameplate again. What was written? Marconi Street. It said, I had been at number, and the number 46 was also written, and she saw number 46 Marconi Street. The address was correct, but I did not want to remember it anymore. This is very important, that she remembered this address for last many years, even during the war, even after the war. But now she said the address was correct, but she did not want to remember it anymore. Why? I would not go back there because the objects that are linked in your memory with the familiar life of former times instantly lose their value. When severed from them, you see them again in strange surroundings. Now, these 2-3 lines are very important. Why she wanted to forget the address? This is a question also in the textbook. Why she wanted to forget the address? And this is the answer. She says that because the objects that are linked in your memory with familiar life of former times instantly, means the things which are linked with your past, they lose their value. They lose their value when they severed. Please underline this word and write down the meaning. When they severed means they get detached. Severed means they had no contact, means they get separated. SEPARATED. When these things are cut off and separated from them, you see them again in strange surroundings. Means when a thing is owned by your mother, it is actually valuable, but when it is owned by somebody else and it is taken to some other address, all these things had lost their value. And what should I have done with them in a small rented room? And there was another reason. She did not want to get all those things back. Why? Because she was living in a small rented room now, and all these things could not be, you can say, adjusted inside a small room. That is why these things could not be accommodated. Where the shreds of blackout paper still hung along the windows. What is the meaning of blackout paper? Because during the war, just to, you can say, hide themselves inside a room, inside a building, the people used to put black colored paper on their windows, on the panes, on the window glasses, so the light should not be seen from outside. And that is why they had put blackout paper. But now this blackout paper was taken away because the war was over, and no more than a handful of cutlery fitted in the narrow table drawer. These two lines are again very very important. I resolved to forget the address. What is the meaning of resolved? Resolved means determined. Now I decided. Resolved means decided. I came to a conclusion to forget the address. Now, because she had remembered this address for last many years, but now she had determined, she had resolved to forget the address. She wanted to forget the address. Of all the things I had to forget, that would be the easiest. And this was an easy thing for her to forget the address easily, because all these things which were belonged to her mother and which were placed in their surrounding, in their house, now they were not owned by the mother because she had lost her mother. So after the death of the mother, all the things which were belonged to her mother, they had lost their value because they were taken away by Mrs. Dorling at a new address. And this is the end of the chapter. I hope you would have got some idea of the chapter. We'll discuss and give and provide you the question answers in the next session. Till then, stay safe. Goodbye.